Space, a journey to where words end. Look up. It may seem like just a dark sky filled with tiny dots of light, but in reality, it's not the ceiling of our world. It's an abyss without walls, edges, or dimensions. Space doesn't begin far away. It begins right behind the thin layer of air that makes life on Earth possible. Our planet feels enormous as we stand on its surface. But once we rise higher, Earth becomes a glowing orb covered with clouds, oceans, and a thin blue line of atmosphere. That line is almost invisible, and it is the only thing separating life from the cold void, from the vacuum of space. From space, Earth doesn't look like a place of borders, disputes, and cities. It looks fragile, almost unbelievable. In the infinite blackness, it seems like a rare spark, a small island of warmth and water, drifting through the darkness. The closest neighbor to Earth is the moon. It's always been there, silent and familiar. But up close, the moon is anything but romantic. It's a world of dust, craters, and stone. A world without wind, without rain, without sound. The footprints once left there may last a long time because almost nothing can erase them. The moon is like an archive of the early history of the solar system, a stone memory of the collisions that happened billions of years ago, but even the moon is just the first step. Beyond it lies the domain of the sun. The sun feels familiar. It rises every morning, warms the earth, gives us light. But in reality, it's a massive thermonuclear ball where colossal amounts of energy are born deep within. Its light takes about 8 minutes to reach us. Everything that grows, breathes, and moves on Earth is directly or indirectly connected to this star. For us, the sun is a source of life. For the universe, it's just one of countless stars. Around it, the planets move, each one a separate story. Mercury, scorched by the sun's proximity, looks like a battered, burned world. Venus hides its surface beneath thick clouds, and under this veil, hellish heat reigns. Mars, on the other hand, seems quiet and cold, like a memory of a world that once could have been different. Its deserts, canyons, and dust storms remind us that even lifeless planets can look like they've been through something, and perhaps lost something. Between Mars and Jupiter lies the asteroid belt. Countless fragments left from the early days of the solar system. These are not just random rocks. They are remnants of an unfinished world, leftovers from an era when planets were still forming from dust and gas. And then begins the realm of giants. Jupiter is so enormous that hundreds of Earths could fit inside it. Its atmosphere boils with storms of unimaginable scale. The Great Red Spot, a storm that has raged so long that human history seems but a fleeting moment next to it. Jupiter is not just a large planet. It's more like a small failed star, a monster of clouds, lightning, and pressure. Saturn is completely different. Its rings make it almost unreal. It seems like someone painted the planet just to show how beautiful physics can be. But Saturn's rings are not solid disks. They are countless particles of ice and rock, moving at incredible speed in an intricate system. The beauty of space often turns out to be the result of harsh laws rather than miracles, though sometimes the two are hard to separate. Beyond Saturn are Uranus and Neptune, cold, distant worlds of blue, where winds rage far stronger than anything we know on Earth. Beyond them, the solar system slowly dissolves into darkness. There are dwarf planets, icy bodies, comets, frozen remnants of its birth. And then comes the true feeling of distance, the kind that's almost impossible to imagine. Even light, the fastest thing we know, takes years to cross the distances between stars. If the solar system is a home, the nearest stars are like distant lights in another city, unreachable by normal means. The space between stars isn't just empty. It's almost infinitely empty. And it's this emptiness that makes space so majestic and so terrifying. But stars aren't eternal either. They are born in enormous clouds of gas and dust in nebulae where gravity causes the material to collapse, heat up, and ignite. This is how a star is born. This is how light begins. And when a star's life comes to an end, its death can be even more spectacular than its birth. Some stars shed their outer layers, leaving behind glowing structures that look like cosmic flowers. Others explode as supernova, scattering the elements needed to create new worlds. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the elements that make up all life on Earth were once forged in the hearts of stars. In that sense, humans are not just looking at space. We are made from it. Sometimes, after a star's death, something even stranger remains: a neutron star or a black hole. Black holes were once considered almost science fiction, regions of space, where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. We cannot see them directly as we do planets or stars, but we see how they warp space, absorb matter, and alter the movement of everything around them. They remind us that the universe operates according to laws that break our usual understanding of reality. And yet, even individual stars are just parts of larger systems. Our star is in the Milky Way galaxy, a vast stellar city where hundreds of billions of stars move around a common center. And there are not just a few galaxies. There are countless galaxies. Spiral, elliptical, dwarf, colliding, growing, warping, each with its own story, its own light, its own worlds. Somewhere around other stars orbit exoplanets. Some are scorching gas giants, others are rocky worlds covered in ice or oceans. Perhaps somewhere there's a planet with a different colored sky, two suns on the horizon, or an eternal night on one side. Perhaps somewhere there are beings who look up and ask the same question: are we alone in the universe? The deeper we look, the clearer the past becomes. The light from distant galaxies took millions and billions of years to reach us. And that means a telescope, in a sense, is a time machine. It doesn't just show distant objects. It shows the ancient cosmos as it was long before humans, Earth, and even the sun existed. And if we look even deeper, the picture becomes more magnificent. Galaxies form clusters. Clusters form threads, and threads make up a vast cosmic web. The universe looks like a living structure, where emptiness and matter are intertwined in a pattern of unimaginable scale. And all of it grew from the early hot state of the universe, which was once much denser and smaller. Space is often called empty, but in reality, it is filled with motion, energy, birth, and destruction. There's always something beginning and something ending. Worlds collide. Stars ignite. Galaxies slowly change their shapes. Even the emptiness of space is not quite empty. Yet the most amazing thing may not be the size of the universe. It may be that it is comprehensible at all. On a small planet, around an ordinary star, amidst the cold void, life arose, life that learned to ask questions. Matter began to look at itself. The atoms born in ancient stars gathered into living beings who, one day, looked up and saw the night, and from this, everything began. We know very little. We don't fully understand what dark matter is. We don't know what lies deep inside black holes. We can't confidently answer whether life exists beyond Earth, but perhaps that's what makes space so captivating. It doesn't end with answers. It begins with questions. When we look at the sky, we don't just see distant stars. We see the past. We see a scale too immense to hold in our minds. We see our own fragility. And at the same time, our bravery. Because, despite our smallness, we still try to understand the universe. We build telescopes. We send probes. We count light, measure distances, listen to signals from the dark. We search not just for new worlds. We search for our place among them. And perhaps the true meaning of space for humanity isn't to conquer it entirely someday. It's to never stop marveling at it. As long as there's a night, there will be those who look up and feel that simple, magnificent truth. We live inside a universe that is much bigger than any of our stories, and yet, by some miracle, that story has also become part of it.